Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Mo studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're live on Twitch and YouTube, and we'd love it if you join us. Just search for @Tom and Dan Live if you like watching podcasts.
We are doing our BDM Appreciation Party April 19th.
Yeah, ma'am.
We've got a lot of entertainment planned, and it's at a cool venue.
It is.
So if you want to come, enjoy the DJ, enjoy the Magic and Whip show. In fact, things are getting added to that show.
Yeah.
I just got an email this morning.
A little out of control, and also I saw the price went up a little bit.
No,
I
it's the
saw
same
that you've
price.
been in negotiations.
No.
I mean, this
We
guy.
need more 1095ers?
Nobody can dial in a whip show like my business partner. I'm telling you right now, this guy's got our entertainment on the rope.
She stopped by the venue and
Yeah.
said she got some ideas, and she wants to make it bigger.
She's the real deal.
Okay.
She's a scientist and a magician, illusionist, and world champion whip executioner.
Going back to accidental D-head or hurting someone's feelings because
Yeah, you do it a lot.
so if I felt like saying whatever you want to do we don't need a
care.
meeting.
I
trust you.
I speak full
It's not that I
time.
don't care. I just trust
But you don't care. You want to say your truth.
But I'm not gonna micro. If you say I want to add this because I think it'll be better, well, I trust you. You're the entertainer.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be like, nah, I don't know. I know.
Well,
whip
you can
shows.
say that though. You can say like, look, I really trust you. For whatever you think would be best.
Yeah.
I don't need to micromanage this. You can kind of pick whatever you want. You don't
So I have
need to
to write
go
that-
like, hey, whatever you do, just know I don't really care what you're doing. There are different ways to do it. You got to put a little bit of thought into the things falling out of your mouth.
Yeah,
Bubba, our good friend Bubba, rest his soul. He said that you can't just let the turds fall out. You got to form them a little
Take
bit.
a moment.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Give it a sec. Give it a beat.
Think about how an emotional person's going to
Before
react
you're like,
to some
you
of the
stop
things
by
you
the
say.
venue? Why? That's what I can already hear. Why'd you stop by the venue?
You waste your time.
This whole thing doesn't matter. Just show up and wing it like we do.
Just start
you
whipping
idiot.
around. Everybody's blacked out drunk. I'm gonna be blacked out drunk. Everybody won't even remember. Just start whipping
Hold on,
everything.
I'm on your side now. That's how quickly I can change.
Yeah, for
That's how
sure.
quickly I can change. He's right. There was no reason for her to
I
go by.
want to put a fake mustache on Mike B, and I want you to whip it off.
Oh, that's
I think
easy.
we're going to put a
We can do
jersey
that.
on him like a football player so he gets shot.
We can do that. We can do that.
I want you to whip EJ's tiny elevator button.
Oh, should I play it? It's time. It's time. I still got it, I think, somewhere here. Where is it? Did I save it? Please say. Oh, I don't know if I did. No, I absolutely did. Hold on.
Nerd jock, big fat guy with a tiny cock.
What?
Nerd jock, nerd jock. No
I love that it has
one
to be
listens
edited.
to this. U of M, Pokemon Go, smallest ding dong on the show. U of M, Pokemon Go, smallest ding dong on the show.
Tiny cock.
Tiny cock, nerd jock.
Tiny cock. Nerd jock. Tiny cock. Nerd jock.
Yeah, waste of time.
I do what I want, man. I do what I want.
Yeah, but after you say that, but then after sure you're like, God.
I do.
Go back. I hear you
But you
edited.
have to do
I
it
do
your own
complain.
way.
And then I
Can
forget.
AI do this?
And then I forget, and I'm like, who would do this?
Yeah, future Daniel's not happy with you
Yeah.
right now.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, our very good friend doing his segment, Nerd Jog. We've done it for a while. It's our very good friend,
How
EJ.
long have we been doing it? Do you know? Has it been
Couple
like
years.
at least what?
a couple, I think it was from the start of
Start
the
of
damn
ACT,
show.
close to it, yeah.
It's been over a decade.
No, it hasn't been a decade of
It's,
Nerd
I
it's
think
Jog.
it
close.
is.
No.
It's easier, like 8 or
No,
9 years at
no.
least.
This was a new thing. And then it grew out of control where it was weekly,
Was
and then we had to
weekly,
dial
yeah.
it back because we were like, oh my God.
Oh,
Too
that-
much EJ, yeah.
That was an awkward.
Yeah,
I tried to
Let's
say
dig
that it
in.
was benefit for EJ to
Yeah.
dial
Just
it
like
back.
Get all these
DeSantis.
bad
Just like
emails
DeSantis said that, you know,
everybody hates you.
You can
and-
learn some stuff from being a slave.
I'm like, this is better. This is better for you.
You're gonna love this. You're gonna love
yeah.
this whole. It's got a thing called not showing up to our show.
Yeah, we need you less.
Oh yeah. I'm like, it'll make people want it more. I don't know.
But I believe you.
Why do I come back to this place?
He
That's
just
what I
asked you that. Okay.
Yeah, but when you decide not to, I'll be like, oh, what do you think? You're better than us?
Exactly. When you're like, guys, I don't think I want
that
to do
would
this
hurt my
anymore. And
feelings
you know
too.
what? It's kind of like when Jana Banana got too busy to do the show, and she was like, I'm just being honest with who I am, right? This is a true Dan.
Yeah.
You know, I love Jana Banana. I love her husband, Jason. They're wonderful people. reach out to them. They're great. But they did draw a line in the sand with us, and they were like, guys, we have a full-blown business. We have a website. We're traveling. We're coaches. We have people that require us to run seminars. We don't have time to do your show anymore. And I was like,
You don't have 30 minutes for us?
I'm such
really?
an emotional person that I was like, what?
We were doing it
You
as
turned your back on us? You're dead.
And you were helping them.
Let me quote
Yeah, we were doing it as a favor.
Let
right?
me
And then
quote-
she hates all the fat guys that listen to this show.
Let me
That was the
quote
best part.
Real Radio's Buckethead. You'll never work in this town again, Jana Banana. And that's how I felt.
No, we were, yeah. It's funny how that happens. Yeah, you do it as a favor, and then when they stop, you're like, oh, all right. You're like, well, what is that? Anyway,
I don't know,
sorry.
it's just being human is weird.
All right, let's go, EJ.
Yeah,
let's
what do
go.
we got?
Jump
what do we got
in,
for
Let's
us?
start off with jock stuff.
Okay.
Have you heard the new thing about bats? I know the Braves are starting to do it too. The torpedo bats that the
Are the
Yankees are
Braves?
using.
I
The
got all the
Braves
info
had
here.
ordered it. Yes.
It's a brand new torpedo bat. The Yankees were the first to kind of roll these out. It was designed by an MIT physicist, Aaron Leinhart. The torpedo bat features a unique shape resembling a bowling pin. The design shifts the bat's heaviest part, or more wood,
mass at the end of it.
at the end of it.
In the sweet spot where most of the hitters. What they're doing is like doing like golf clubs. You take your golf club and you figure out where your sweet spot is on your swing, and that's where they put a lot of the mass for where you hit the ball at. They're doing that with baseball now.
And it
And
makes that
it's-
much of a difference?
It has made a difference. Like some of the guys were hitting, like they hit back-to-back home runs
Well,
against
here.
the Milwaukee Brewers that one game.
Let me give you the stats. So
Aaron
the,
Judge is not using it, but a lot of the guys are that are not good hitters, like Aaron Judge is, are doing well with these bats.
Well, can you blame him? I mean, Aaron Judge last year performed amazingly.
Yeah.
So no need, right? And that was kind of his take, was like, I have a system that's working, and a lot of baseball guys are like that. I have a system that's working. Why would I want to mess with it? But check out these stats. The Yankees were the first to use the bats. They were playing against the Brewers. They hit a franchise record 9 home runs in a single game, totaled 15 homers over 3 games, tying a major league record. So just the introduction of these bats, they tied an MLB record for homers. Like, that leads me to believe, as a new baseball guy, because I am a new baseball guy, I'm like, well, either everybody gets to use them, which they are
They
allowed.
the Cubs are going to get them. The
But it
Braves
is,
are
I
going to get them.
I do sort of think it's a cheat. First person I texted was Jack Bradshaw, because the Yankees have unlimited money. I'm like, oh, of course the Yankees have the torpedo bats.
Well, every team can buy
Yeah,
the
you can buy the
torpedo.
bats.
They can, but
Yeah,
at first I
it's not
didn't
a money
know. I
thing,
didn't
yeah.
know. At first it seemed very Yankees, though. It seemed like very Yankees.
Oh yeah, the bad guys are.
Yeah. Like, we have the most money.
We're
We
bending
buy all
the
the
rules
players.
just enough. Yeah.
we always buy all the players. We're going to have these torpedo bats. Now that I know everybody can use them, it's weird because you're not seeing everybody go like, oh, I want to use them. And the reason for that is it's completely difficult and crazy hard to change up your system
Yeah. And
or
then-
your swing or your hit.
Yeah, just to change something. A lot of those guys are superstitious too.
Yeah.
Like this is the thing that I've always used. This is what works for me. I'm going to stick with this. If I change it, I might go into a slump, and they're always afraid of that.
And I guess there's probably not enough statistics yet to really fine tune whether or not.
Not yet.
these
It might be a
things-
placebo effect. It might be we just had a new bat. It may work, and it gives us an opportunity.
or-
to
I
hit
don't think
better.
that's it, though.
It's possible though.
It is possible.
Yeah, it's possible that it's an anomaly that they happen to hit more home runs than usual at this time using these bats, but over a long period of time, it all goes back to the mean, and it's like, these bats don't make as much of a difference as we thought based on one game.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's hard.
Well, then I calmed down because I remembered it was either last year or the year before. They had manufactured all the balls, and then they had kept all of the baseballs in a humidifier.
Yeah.
But something had happened, so all the
dead
balls that
ball
they were
era,
using,
yeah.
like all the balls, like the balls weren't flying out of the stadiums like they used to, and I was like, this is just all baseball. It's fine. You know,
Yeah,
like
but-
I kind of had to go through the process.
But
of
you guys ever
grieving.
play Little League?
No.
Whenever we got a new bat, everyone would hit better after
think
they
so?
got the bat. It was
It's like
it's
getting
such a
new
weird.
shoes
I
and
know it
being
was
faster.
I know it's confirmation bias, but it seemed like that would work every single time we had a new bat when we got it.
Well, it's weird that this all of a sudden is coming out now when it seems like they could have designed the torpedo bat
Years ago?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not like they're putting some space age technology that we didn't have access to. It's like using general physics, and because the bat's been the same for a
it
long
has
time, right?
a certain diameter. It has to have certain dimensions, but they're just changing slightly enough that it still fits in that. Like the diameter has to be a certain width.
Look, I'm not anti it at all, but the way it rolled out was messy.
Yeah.
It should have been like, hey guys, we're MLB, and everybody has access to these rad new bats that everybody can use. Because the message got clunky, and this is why there are headlines and things that look weird. It was, and I fell for it. It was kind of like reported that the Yankees are using these bats, and I'm like, well, why the hell are they using these? But of course, everybody had access to it, so it's like, that's strange.
What's interesting, like baseball specifically, hockey, tennis, where the equipment has a lot to do with the.
What about shoes in the NBA?
That you can make an argument that it could help. I don't know as much about it. It seems like less than the actual contact with the ball that's such an integral part of baseball or hockey, like making a shot, making the puck curve a certain way, like that tennis, the racket. That is such in play more than the shoes would be per se. Like how much higher really or percentage higher would the shoes make you jump really?
Well, I'm thinking
and even
like
jumping is not even really that
Well, I'm
much.
thinking like durability. Like what do you call it? Like the way it can isolate the bones in your ankle, so you don't roll them.
Support.
Support.
But
like
a lot of that's done with tape and like sports trainers and
well, they
stuff.
also like they banned those like swimsuits for the dolphin swimsuits in the Olympics. Remember the Americans had those and they banned those because they were like shaving seconds off their time.
That helps.
Yeah.
So and then it's kind of like NASCAR. They want to make like not equipment. They want to put it all in the person
On the
and
driver.
their skills.
Yeah.
So then you have baseball. It wouldn't, if they do offer a slight advantage and the other team isn't using them. But then if they can use them and don't, that's their choice.
I don't
And
see
it's
why.
like,
I've never been a fan of like if you have access to it and it is a better designed bat, why wouldn't you use it?
Yeah.
I'm that guy. Like it drives me crazy. Now, Aaron Judge, I get it. You have a system. You're the big dog. You hit the most home runs. You don't need to change your system.
Yeah.
But
if it could help you, why wouldn't you?
exactly. Why wouldn't you? Like maybe in the offseason, you're going to start using this, right? I mean, he's not going to not do it. He's not going to say, nope, sorry, I'm just a traditional bat guy from here on out.
If it's proven that it could help you, you definitely use it.
And I think it is. Like, look, it is what a duck is a duck. Like I'm looking at this and I'm like, 15 home runs, 9 of those were with that bat. That's all I got to see. That's all I got to see. I'm like, that's the bat that everybody should be using. It's also going to make baseball more exciting.
I would rather see more hits and more home runs.
So I mean, if it's the thing, but I guess what I'm mad about, and I did a bad job articulating it, is, well, then don't villainize the Yankees because I fell into that trap and I did it, and you didn't tell me that everybody had access to this. They just like, I don't know, they slow rolled it, or maybe the guy from the Yankees is the guy who invented it. So I don't know, it started with him.
It's sports writers. They have to have a narrative that they need to follow, so that's the reason why.
But I think it
and a
could help
bad guy
baseball.
always helps your narrative, always.
Yeah.
And the Yankees are the greatest bad guy ever. In most of those like movies, they're the
fun
bad
to
guys.
hate.
Yeah.
What else you got?
The next thing I got is which one do I want to do? Let's do the NCAA, the Final Four. Have you been watching some of the tournament?
A little bit.
March Madness?
Kind of keeping up with the Gators just because of so many
Yeah,
friends.
because they're well, it's all the 1 seeds made it to the Final Four, so that was kind of the weird thing about it. There wasn't a lot of upsets this year,
Well, they
or Cinderella stories.
they're contributing that to the NIL.
Yeah,
And basically,
Came
like
out of my mouth.
the the schools, the bigger schools that can pay more, that have like more.
Funny, we didn't think that was going to happen,
sponsors.
did
but
we?
okay, but wouldn't
It's
it be
still
like Duke, North Carolina, maybe Clemson? Those are usually the big basketball schools. Maybe Georgetown, but it's Houston and Auburn are not known for like being basketball schools. Really, they're mostly football schools.
Yeah, and I have no idea about college basketball, but I did hear someone that knows like sports talk about how they're discussing that the Cinderella story will be a thing of the past because of NIL, and I can only assume it's just like the smaller schools that don't have the alumni that can pay these players, because again, they're paying them for marketing deals that don't even exist. And so
Or
it's not
if you
even
get
the
one,
school.
it'll be super rare, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it will truly be a Cinderella story because it'll be a ragtag group of nobodies.
Yeah, because the who pays the bill are alumni and companies around the college that pay the players and stuff. So if it's a smaller school, they're not going to have as much of that, and therefore the best players are going to gravitate towards the schools that can pay them the most.
Yeah.
And then therefore those schools will make it further in the tournament, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
But it also comes down to if you pay a bunch of people, sometimes I'd rather have a team that plays better together than a bunch of superstars all together.
But in the grand scheme of things, the better players will
Win out most time. Yes.
Yeah. So,
especially in college. I
Yeah,
think.
now,
for sure.
There may be a Cinderella in the future.
Yeah,
but
I
that
think there will
doesn't
be, but it'll be
prove
rare.
that-
Oh, yeah,
rare. Yeah.
It'll be rarer. It'll be even rarer. It'll be more like the one seeds are always going to make it to the Final Four. It looks like.
Yeah. And we were talking about
God,
this
I
over
wish
the
I was
weekend.
into March Madness. It looks like so much
It's
fun.
so it is fun, but
It's one of the things that I look at and I'm like, well, that looks like just as fun as like sort of fantasy football in a small amount of time.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, it looks really fun.
But it's
getting the brackets ready.
Sports are only fun to me personally if I know about them, because that what makes it
College
fun to
is
me.
too immense.
There's too many
many
teams.
schools.
Yeah, and there's so many games for college basketball.
God, even
it's hard to
playing,
follow.
I've been
yeah.
playing college because Madden, we're off season
Yeah.
now. For some reason, my stupid sensitive brain, I can't play Madden when we're not in season.
In season, yeah.
Yeah, so I play college, even though I know
Even though
we're not in
college is
season.
not in
I get
season
it.
either.
I get it's crazy. But I play at college, and there's so many teams and so many players. It's like it's almost overwhelming. It's
It
way
is,
too
yeah.
much.
So
So did you do any gambling
Not
about
on-
March Madness at all? 'Cause
again-
you don't know
Doesn't touch
anything
that
about it.
stuff
I
if he
know that's
doesn't
why.
know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not.
You want the edge. That's what it is. Yeah.
I'd like to know about it and then think I'm coming up with theory that gives me some sort of edge or value, and then that's what's fun to me. If I don't,
Because you create your own system.
Yeah.
That makes
yeah,
sense
I need
to
to
me.
put them. I need
You've
to,
never really said that, but that makes sense to me.
I definitely understand why you like. Okay, I want the edge. I want to win because I'm smarter than everyone else. I totally understand that.
even though I'm not. I just want to think that's part of the fun of the game.
Yeah.
And if it's just pick a team, then it's just a random
So
coin
it's
toss.
like
It doesn't matter.
cosplay. It's like gambling cosplay.
Yeah. I just want. I want to know about the teams and have some insight. Listen to some podcasts about them. Then come up with my own
See,
opinion.
like you like mega gooning or flicker gooning
yeah.
and edging. You're a flicker gooner.
Edge Lord, Goon Lord.
Okay, what else you got?
Let's talk about the thing I sent to the picture of you too.
Okay, I got a picture for you, T.
It's one of my favorite
Here we
things I've
go.
seen in the
If
internet
you'll
in the
all-
past couple days.
If you'll all turn your attention to the screen, you'll I'll put
Yeah.
it up here. There seems to be is that basketball?
So
That's
it's the
basketball.
Timberwolves versus the Detroit Pistons, and the Detroit Pistons are known for the malice in the palace. Remember when Ron Artest went in the stands and started beating people up?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I
Well,
love that.
the
I love
Detroit
that.
My
Pistons are
favorite
at it again. They're fighting in the stands again, and this is a picture of someone getting hit in the capital
It
of
looks
Bangkok.
like he's grabbing it. Like it looks like he's grabbing his junk.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I see that. And because the player went into
Capital
the crowd
Thailand. I messed up that joke.
and don't worry, it wasn't going to be funny if you did.
I know.
It's fine. It's fine.
I just
Either
pointed
way,
it out so
yeah.
no one can point it out later.
Neither way, we were not laughing.
I know.
If you mess up a joke that wasn't going to be funny, if
Yeah.
you did it perfectly, then
I
it's a
actually like
zero.
that better. The fact that you
Messing
messed
it
it
up
up
is
yeah,
better.
It's better, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got a lot of enjoyment out of you flailing on that joke.
So they went into the stands and started fighting.
Yeah, it was building for a little while. They were like doing ticky-tack fouls, and this last one, it didn't even look like a bad foul. It looked like he was going for the ball, kind of, but of course he still raked the arms, and then a melee just started.
I love a good basketball.
I
Clear
do
the
love a
bench.
good basketball fight.
Yeah, but it looks like people could really get hurt.
Yeah, because they're so lengthy, and I can see bones getting broken so easily.
Ginormous humans just whacking their big old axe handles around.
Yeah, but I like it when who was the player that went into the
Ron Artest?
Artest. Yeah.
Meta World Peace.
I like when he
Has he changed his
is
name back?
fighting a drunk fat man who's I'm not
Who
even
threw a
joking.
beer at him?
2.5 feet shorter than him, and it becomes a cartoon fight, and it's like a top athlete that's 6'9", and
Prime
then,
of his life.
and then
Oh my
a
God.
drunk fat dad who hasn't exercised in 18 years, holding 2 beers, and
But I give it to the dead.
yeah. I would say
To be
stand
brave
his ground.
enough?
Yeah. Stand your ground. Stay tough.
This
Don't
is in
let-
Florida. You
don't-
can't do that in Detroit.
Do not let Meta World Peace push you down the stairs. Don't let him do it. Don't let him knock your hat off.
In fact, like the Artest doesn't even understand how to fight him because he's so small
Yeah.
and weak.
It's the definition of punching down.
It's like when you run it. It's like when football players you run in the field. You know, it's like it's harder to score, right? It's like I don't know what
Yeah.
to do with you. You're so little.
So
You want to get a nerd?
I'm surprised this happened because I'm sure the players are going to be in so much trouble, right?
Oh, they
Like, the
suspended
NBA
7 players and coaches total.
Like it seems like you've lost. Let's just say.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
200
Yeah.
grand and money and all, like it's just like over some stupid thing and
Yeah,
like
it's
a
like
lot of headache.
The blowing your top thing in sports is one of the ones that I don't understand why coaches, parents, dads, other players, mentors don't put more emphasis on it. Because I don't know if you guys have seen this. There was a kid in high school. He was like a senior, and they were running like real on him, and he was a defensive player. But he played, and he hit a guy dirty. But then he lost his cool, and then he started like raging on the ref.
Yeah,
and it was one of those moments where I was real time watching a kid.
Ruining,
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, you're
he
ruining
punched the ref. Oh
Yeah.
no, he speared the ref, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he speared the ref, and I'm like, oh my god! And I think you and I watched it, and I was like, oh, he's done.
They
like,
expelled him from sports.
He'll never
Yeah.
like you had the talent, but what you didn't have was the self control, and no one helped you work on that, and you just flushed your like you could have been a first rounder.
It's odd when pros do it because I'm like, haven't you had a
lot of
ridiculous
this.
amount of practice controlling your emotion, coming up through like little league sports,
what I mean.
like
But I
high
get-
school,
Your
college,
life.
yeah. Like, didn't you train for this at all? Like controlling your emotions, like having the
But I can
coaches.
see
Well,
talk-
you could go with you and I. Like, I think, like, I'm a more emotional person than you. I've done this long enough to get better at holding in my emotions. When I first started years ago, not as good.
But I can
it's
see
just reality.
at the higher levels because it's a lot of money on the line, and this is ruining your livelihood if someone hurts you. So I can see the anger and upset because a lot of people depend on that person, and if you get hurt by someone doing something stupid, I can understand blowing my top for that.
Yeah, but then
reason.
you blow in your top and ruin your livelihood.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so you're mad because someone jeopardized your livelihood, then you ruin it yourself. You're like, how dare you try to ruin me? I'll ruin me.
Yeah, that is classic Daniel.
I know,
Remember?
but that's emotional
That's classic
stuff.
Daniel.
Yeah.
The comet's coming. We're
Kill-
all gonna
kill
die.
myself,
I'll
yeah.
kill myself. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's switch.
The last
over-
thing I want to
yeah.
talk about before we go to switch over.
Okay.
What do you think about Aaron Rodgers going to the Steelers?
Well, that's
I think it's going to wait till after the draft if they do sign him.
Well, there's been a lot of speculation about that. What I think about it is it's not going to do anything for the Steelers.
No.
Oh, it's good for us as viewers.
It'll be fun to watch.
Selfishly, it's
I
great
kinda
because
wanna see-
we might get to see the Steelers melt.
or
A little bit. I
what
think
if
that
they
would
do
be one of the only
well?
things that make me think the Steelers would melt down.
Yeah.
Is Aaron Rodgers on there because he's weird.
especially with the Giants signing Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson, which is weird,
Okay,
in my
well,
opinion.
A lot of weird. A lot of weird.
I want to talk about that for a second. Let's even go back to the draft, right?
Okay.
So, NFL draft, it's not. There's no real superstar players that we're all watching. There's a lot of hype. Shedeur Sanders.
No, there's three.
The name, Cam Ward's going to
Cam
go
Ward,
1-1. Like, I'm going off of NFL odds right now, whether the Titans trade out of it or not, but it doesn't look like they are. Looks like Cam Ward's going 1.
Mm-hmm.
Although he's not. No one's really that excited about Cam Ward. Really, you know what I'm saying? Like,
They
he's not,
don't talk about him at
No.
all.
Yeah.
They just say he's
I
going
think it's a
one,
foregone
and then
conclusion.
they move
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's even last year with Jaden Daniels and who went first from the Bears? God, I forgot his name. The
yes,
QB of the
Fields.
Bears.
No,
the first round draft pick last year. God, I'm escaping
The
her name. Anyway,
Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah, I know who
everybody
you're talking about.
they were hyping
Somebody will
up.
throw it in here.
They were hyping him up years ago, before like a year before the
yeah,
draft.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like this guy's the next Mahomes. And there hasn't been any
because he won the Heisman the year before.
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, Cam Ward's going first. The next, as far as gambling odds, it's minus 270 that Abdul Carter goes to the Browns.
Yeah.
Which will be interesting because they have Myles Garrett, and I think that's the reason Myles Garrett stayed with the Browns.
Oh, they
because-
talked him in because you're going to get help on
because
defense.
you put Abdul Carter on the other side. Now all of a sudden, Myles Garrett, he's not
You're not
double
getting
teamed
double
anymore.
teamed every time. Yeah.
Yeah, and,
And then you pick up Kirk Cousins, who was at a Cleveland Chipotle. Did you see that?
Yeah,
he was at a
I did
Cleveland
see
Chipotle.
that, yeah.
yeah,
He
because
got his picture made with the staff.
now they could just
Caleb
roll
Williams.
with Caleb Williams. Yeah.
Thank you, chat
Thank
room.
you. I would
appreciate that.
He's very forgettable.
I don't know why Caleb was not on my
He
tongue.
was good like 3 years ago when he was at USC, and then he had a bad senior season, but it still made him get the first round draft pick.
So here's what the ultimate storyline that I would love to see, and then I'd love to see the Giants do what's it called?
trade down.
No, where the documentary team comes in.
Hard
Hard
Knocks.
Hard Knocks. So I'd love to see the Giants do a Hard Knocks if this happened. So they have Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. It's two weirdos.
End of the spectrum weirdos. One overly loud weirdo and one overly quiet weirdo.
It's like, you got the double weirdo.
Now the odds are,
and they're different types.
Yes.
the Vegas odds are that the Giants take Travis Hunter. But if they took Shador Sanders, that would be the ultimate
my
QB
God.
room, right? And then you do a Hard Knocks.
I would love to see that Hard Knocks.
That
Wait,
would
so
be
you
the
have a
number
battle
one.
of the weirdos?
Yeah, and not Shador Sanders to all.
And
like,
then Deion showing up every other week.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, look, he's cocky. But
he's the
there's-
least weirdo of
He
them all.
is, but they're still weird because
They're
they're
weird.
super
Yes.
cocky weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because his
The
dad.
Depo baby guy coming in.
But just those three
Oh,
in a
that's
QB
must-see.
room.
That's must-see TV.
That would be entertaining, right? Like,
Yes.
like
Storyline, that's amazing.
I've never seen. I couldn't imagine a trio of three weirder QBs. I mean, they already have the two
the only one
weirdest
that was
QBs.
close to that was Florida when they had Tebow and they had what's the guy that used to play for Carolina? Cam Williams. Not Cam. Cam's-
yeah, it's Cam.
Newton?
Cam Newton.
Thank
yeah,
you. I couldn't think of his name.
yeah, Cam Newton
Yeah.
and Tebow.
That room was pretty crazy.
But to have
But not this
Jameis,
crazy.
Not this crazy.
because
Yeah.
because it's
Russell
different.
Wilson alone to me.
Oh, doing high knees in the plane on the way to
Yeah,
London.
and his super positive weirdo talk.
I don't know enough about him because he is like a little like.
Oh, he's
there's-
guarded. He's
he
like
is
Tom
guarded.
Cruise.
There's not enough. I need a little more.
He's Tom Cruise Scientology weird.
I need more
Yes.
stories. I need more stories.
Oh,
I need
yeah,
more
there's
grit.
enough.
He's just one of those fake positive everything's like if you listen to interviews with him and stuff, it's just everything is like it's a kind of a fake false personality of positive like an inspiration and like that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Now Jameis Winston is more
funny. I think he's very funny.
effing around.
Yeah.
His
like,
tweets
the
are
He's
joke-
just there
I
to have a
mean,
good time. He's a Burt
His tweets are,
Kreischer.
Yes,
are
yeah.
really funny.
but also
And he-
positive.
Yeah,
you
both are
see-
Florida State guys.
Like-
He won my wife over. Did you see his coverage in New Orleans?
oh, it was amazing to watch him there.
Did
Yeah.
you see how personable and funny he is?
Yeah,
He's-
yeah.
Dude, he kills it.
They'll bring him into the media as soon as he's done.
100%.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And it'll be great.
100%.
And everybody,
And he's down for whatever. He'll
Yes.
dress up. He'll act
Yeah.
crazy. Like
Yeah.
he's like
He was what Robert Griffin III wanted to be, but he's not.
Griffin's too reserved.
Yeah, he's too
Marshawn
reserved.
Lynch isn't. Marshawn Lynch
Yeah.
kills it.
he'll be the Marshawn
He will.
Lynch of
But a QB.
yeah. And
A little
so,
more, a little less rough around the edges, a little smarter, a little prettier.
So that's
you
what I'm
know.
saying. Then you add
Yeah, he's
in
great.
Shador Sanders into that group.
I like your idea.
yeah.
I like this idea. I would watch this show.
And
I
then
would
put
watch
Hard
it.
Knocks, Giants Hard Knocks, and that and what's bizarre about this
edition.
is that a lot of people are saying this is Dayball's last chance, the coach of the Giants.
Right.
To, or that if he
I
doesn't
like
win
him.
now, they're gonna boot him out. And which he's had a lot of
Shave your
bad
beard,
luck and-
fatso. Get out of here.
yeah. And
Get out of here, fatso.
It's so funny
Go
how
get a craft beer.
at the remember when he was with the Bills, he was so sought after, and everybody's like, this guy's
He's the next genius.
the
yeah,
guy.
he's the next genius or whatever. And he goes to the Giants and it's just a horrible.
Stinks it up. But I don't think that was his fault. I think that
no.
was management.
Yeah,
At the beginning,
and-
before he was even there.
Yeah, and then a bunch of series of bad
A
decisions.
lot of bad
and,
decisions.
and then
Daniel Jones being your quarterback.
they
who's-
trade Saquon Barkley.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't
And he-
understand that.
and he goes and wins the Super Bowl, and then
Well,
that-
then he can
and
defend
your
most
division
career
rival,
rushing.
too.
As soon as they trade him, he breaks records and then apparently can fly through the air.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
he
yeah,
starts
yeah.
getting-
Jumping over people
He gets magical
backwards,
powers.
yeah.
Jumping over people backwards.
They make
yeah.
a Madden
He
move
looks
out of him.
happier than he's ever been in his life.
The most career, the highest paid running back, the most career rush yards in a season. Now he had an extra week, but anyway, it couldn't have gone worse for the Giants, right?
So this is a good setup for a Hard Knocks. It is.
Oh,
Yeah,
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 for
yeah.
sure.
Redemption story, man.
And if I was the NFL, I'd be leaning that direction because it's way better than the Travis Hunter story. Yeah.
The chat room just okay. Ghost. He says Brian Dable reminds me of the head elf in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Yes, he looks exactly like
Now-
the head elf.
Now here's the
That is a good joke.
and this scenario is less likely in my mind, but also interesting. So So let's say Shedeur Sanders doesn't go to the Giants, right?
They take Travis
So
Hunter instead.
They take Travis Hunter. So after them, the Pats and the Jaguars, they don't need a quarterback. They're not taking Shedeur, right? Then there's the Raiders, right? Which ties into like Brady.
That was your original theory, wasn't it?
I thought the Raiders were going to take Shedeur, but they obviously took Seattle's quarterback, Geno Smith, and who's good enough. Now, he's a veteran quarterback. You can still take Shedeur.
You
and
leave Geno's the backup to help your guy.
But it's less fun when Shedeur is sitting on the bench.
You want him in.
Yeah. Which Brady, because Brady's now having a lot of control over the Raiders' decisions, he's more of a guy that wants a QB to sit for multiple years
no
or a
trial
year.
by fire for Shedeur.
And before we get
he
to
did
nerd,
that.
we're all in agreement that Brady is going to quietly exit broadcasting and go Raiders crazy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Now-
because he's not good
He's
at the
not
broadcasting.
good at the broadcast.
He's not.
Yeah, we don't like him.
Can't be good at everything.
But I've also heard why turn down the money. They're never going to fire him. He's still Tom Brady. As long as he's willing
Personally,
to
I
do
just
it.
think it looks weird for the league. I think it'd be better for you just to pick one, just for the league, just purely because you have a lot of problems. You guys don't make good decisions. Just get him out of there.
The problem is
It doesn't help me as a viewer.
But ultimately, the Brady games end up being a nothing. Like I've watched Brady games, I forgot halfway through that
We don't even know.
That it's
it was
him,
Brady.
yeah.
But whatever commentator is going to be, who cares? Like even if you brought in some other guy, I feel like he's going to be about the same as Brady, and the difference is not going to be. So it's like it's
But the
a
stories
nothing.
will
It's
still
not going to
come
be.
out.
I'm not
I
gonna-
don't think it's a nothing because the stories will still come out, and I think that still affects him.
Because his
Like, I don't think
ex-wife
he's-
bought her boyfriend a boat. You saw
But
that?
I don't think he's impervious to every
That's
time
my
he does a
favorite thing.
game. The next headline is this Brady experiment's terrible.
Yeah.
every single week.
He may be impervious to it because he spent his entire career figuring out criticism.
I don't think anybody's impervious to it. I think they can say they are, but I don't think they are.
But why turn down $100 million or whatever? He'd have to give
Don't
up.
know.
Like $100 million. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
it's a
nothing.
lot of money, but
and like he spent a lot buying into the Raiders, and he lives an expensive life, and it's not that hard, I imagine, to do. You know what I'm saying? Like the broadcast.
you got to do a
these
lot of
games.
research though when you're doing that broadcast. You got to like actually know the teams and know the players and have.
Well,
little
we better jump
anecdotes.
into nerd or
Oh,
we
yeah.
are going to run out
Sure,
of
yeah.
time.
Okay. Well, you guys had that one video about going to Epic. Well, I got to go 2 weeks ago.
Okay, how was it?
It was amazing.
Really?
I can't do enough raving reviews for this place. It's amazing. Like everything's not even up and running completely. Like the Harry Potter ride was not working, but the queue.
Hey, how does Harry Potter?
It's
how
like
does
the
Harry
Fantastic-
Potter get down a hill?
Come on.
I don't know. Tell me.
Walking. J.K. rolling.
I don't know why.
That's a dad. That was the
That is
dad
such a
joke on
dad
the thing
joke,
behind
yeah.
me. On the thing behind me, it's like, how does Harry Potter get down a hill? Walking. J.K. rolling. That's the joke. You can use that later at dinner. You'll write me later.
Send
You'll
that to
write me
Ross.
like,
He needs
yeah,
it for his
great joke
comedy
for the
bits.
children. Great joke for the children, Dad.
But the queue for this new ride is amazing. It looks like you're in the Ministry of Magic when you're in the queue.
Okay.
Tom
Like,
and I don't
put it
know.
like this,
We don't know
walked-
what the Ministry of Magic is.
Okay,
And
it is
say
that-
the line.
Sounds
you-
fake.
no, there's a scene in one of the later books or movies where it looks like the movie. You're at the Ministry of Magic when like Dumbledore fights Voldemort. It looks like you're there.
It's done so well.
It is
Yeah.
done so well. You go through the flumes, the fireplace flumes, and that's part of the going through the line. It is. We went through the line twice. It was that amazing just to look at.
My God, the
everything.
line's so good you'll go through twice.
Yeah,
I've never
just for
heard
the
that.
line.
My
We didn't even
God.
get to go on the
Our
ride because it
lines
wasn't
are-
working at
Our
the time. That was
lines
the only
are
ride that wasn't
so
working.
immersive that you'll go through twice.
So
You'll want to wait in our
there
line.
is something to be said about new rides because Crystal took the boys to Hollywood Studios
Okay.
and did the Star Wars.
The Star Wars one.
Oh, yeah, they got some good ones.
And that one Star Wars
Galaxy's
ride.
Edge.
Yeah. She said it was
Smuggler's Run, or did you do the one where you're kind of on a cart?
the one where you go and you get transported to a different place. She was trying to explain to me, and she's like, it was the most unbelievable ride I've ever been on. And
You go to different spots,
Yes.
and it changes every time.
Yeah, and she's,
Yeah, that's the main Star Wars ride. That's a great ride.
It blew her mind.
Yeah.
And
It
she's
changes every time you ride it.
And then she was like, it does make a difference when they're built. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, oh, yeah, like there's a lot of rides that we've been on. They're like, these things are built in like 2002.
Yeah.
Or it's like, you know what I'm saying? You forget. It's like
You might as well be on a
23 years ago.
Might as well be in a scrambler or a gravitron for Christ's sake.
The Hulk was made in '99.
And so now you have an entire park of brand new rides with brand new technology, and you saying it's awesome.
It is amazing. Like the first place we went to is the Nintendo Land, and it has like Super Mario Brothers. It looks like you're in a Super Mario game. Seriously, like there's little question mark blocks and like Yoshi rides. You can hit them if you have the little band.
How are the
like,
rides?
It's like
in there?
$30. There's a Yoshi ride, which is like the kids ride. It's basically just a kind of carousel kind of thing, but it's not. It's kind of, I'm trying to think of what is a good approxiction of it that you ride before.
You know, when I look at Mario and Luigi and Yoshi, I always think that they, you know. You know, that tongue.
Is it White Lotus?
No, I look at the tongue and
Yeah,
I'm like, in
Tongue my eggs, Yoshi.
That's what I think, because I feel like in Mario Land, because
Yeah.
I don't think Yoshi is an animal, and they got different rules there.
But
And I feel like Mario and
Yeah.
Luigi, because neither of them are with the princess. I don't know if you know that,
I
but
thought they both had princesses. One was Princess Peach and one was Princess
I think
Daisy.
Mario and Luigi are completely fine with just having Yoshi like.
And and according to my BCology, God damn it!
Yes! And according to my BCology. But okay, the other two rides that are in the Super Nintendo world are Bowser's Challenge, which is the Mario Kart ride.
Bowser's Challenge
It
is
is
what I call my
amazing.
wife's bush.
You put on a little Mario
Oh my God,
visor,
it's Bowser's Challenge. I'll never
and
make
it
it
comes
through
with
here.
like a 3D goggles that go on. And you
As
can
soon
see
as
how
I
many...
take my wife's panties down, then
Then it makes the tunnel noise.
BCology.
But the Bowser ride is amazing. You put on like a 3D goggles and you can see how many like shells you can shoot and how many coins you've collected, and it's on your thing. Dude,
I don't
it
want
is
3D
amazing.
goggles. I don't wear no dirty ass goggles.
No, you have a visor. You don't even touch the goggles are in front of you, and it's like
okay. Like a sneeze guard that old
like a
ladies
sneeze
would
guard.
wear
It looks like a
during
sneeze
COVID.
guard or like a motorcycle's helmet. The little glass shield that you have there.
Okay,
but
so it doesn't touch your face.
it doesn't touch your
okay.
face, and everything is projected on it.
I miss when old people would wear a mask and a
But you put it on your head?
You put a little you get a visor that's
Like a welding
adjustable, and then you put the 3D thing that when you get on the ride onto that.
Okay.
And wherever you look, you see like other Koopas, the Bowser's kids. It's intense.
awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. It was amazing.
So, what are the ticket prices? And like, what?
Right now, you can only get it if you have a season pass to the old Universal Parks, and you have to pay, I think it's $165 for a single day ticket.
Can you buy a pass now and then be like, I want in? Or did you have to have
you
a
can't,
pass?
I think but you gotta buy like a hotel like package.
Gotcha.
To get it. That's they're like trying to minimize a lot of it right now. But like,
it's a soft opening.
yeah,
because
it's
they
soft
haven't-
open right now. It's right for the employee previews. My wife's friend got us in, and we're going again on the 12th, which I'm really excited
Do
about.
they
We're
have
going again.
these-
And it's a
these-
nighttime this time, because last time it was during the day. They're going to do the night version, because there's one area that's the dark universe with the old Universal monsters. That place looks amazing as well, because
Like
that was where we
it's-
went to. It's right next to Mario Brothers. But before we leave Mario Land, there's Donkey Kong roller coaster there, and it looks like you're on a track, and then you're not on a track, and you hop over like gaps in the track. It looks amazing.
We talked about this with Joey, and we kind of debuted each ride and what they.
Yeah.
it is. Did you ride it?
Yes.
Is it awesome?
The only thing I didn't ride was there's two things. One, because I was too fat to ride the. I knew you'd love that.
I do love that.
How to Train Your Dragon
Hold on,
ride.
slow
that was
down,
for the
slow
kids.
down. I want to really enjoy this. What's it like being too fat to train a dragon?
You're
Like, how is that even
big-ass-
possible?
like
Does
this.
the dragon go too fat? Too fat.
You're like, this dragon is gigantic.
This dragon's 5 tons, and this man, you mean to tell me this ex-football player is too fat to train the dragon?
Like, it's not strong enough. It's a mythical
Yeah.
beast.
If anything, I feel like I would want you training my dragon
Right?
because you're big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I look like one of the characters from
dragon trainer.
Burke.
I'm too small to train a dragon.
Don't you train with heavyweights? That's how you get stronger.
The only two rides we didn't ride were in that area. One
So
was
did
'cause
they
I was
tell
too
you
big.
at the front? That's
No,
my favorite.
okay.
Sorry
this-
and they stay in character. They're like, avast there, sir. I'm so sorry. You will not be training dragons today. You're a bit too swollen.
This is where before rides now, I still go to the little tester thing
Don't
to
do
see if I
that.
fit.
Don't do
No, I
that.
do it because I don't want to get embarrassed at the
Don't
front of the
do
line.
that.
I'd rather get embarrassed before I wait all that time.
No, but people, if you're me, I stand by those and look at the fat people trying it. And I'm look at them.
I'm like, this is
if you
more
want good
embarrassing.
watching, that's the way to do it.
I take pictures of them.
With sad
Yeah.
fat people.
I have a whole website website. It's fat people trying
That would be a
test
good
chairs.
Instagram
Fat
page.
people trying test chairs.
Sad fat people.
The most embarrassing part is you couldn't just look at it and know you couldn't. You had to actually
give it a go.
Yeah, you had to walk over there and then sadly pull it down, and then it's not even close.
Yeah, you had to run it up the flagpole.
And it's like,
I am the blade of fat people because most rides I can get on, but there's like the one or two that I can't. And that was one of them. Like, because the one that comes down like an over the chest thing, usually the leg ones I can get on.
So,
I don't believe that.
So this one, what didn't fit?
Yeah.
It was over the head thing, and it was one of those
You're
ones
too
where
fat
it's
of a
kind of
head.
like an arm like this, and the ride is it's hard to describe.
What's the name of the ride? What is this ride?
Oh crap!
Fatso's Revenge? Or
No. It was Dragon Racers Rally.
Dragon,
I was too-
racist,
yeah.
the racist Dragon
In my
Rally.
notes, it says Dragon Racers Rally and Too Fat is right in my notes.
Oh, my God.
Now,
That's why I know which one it was.
you know what's interesting is that
It's dueling diabetes dragon.
they do, I'm still trying to think of Blade of Fat People.
Me too, I abandoned it.
Only because I watched the video about Blade today. That's what
Blade
made
of
me
fat
think
people.
about it.
You know what I had? You want to know what I
Okay,
had?
okay, yeah.
Butter knife.
Oh, no.
That's actually pretty good.
That's all I had. The blade of fat people was a butter knife.
I was trying to tie in Whistler and your shoes.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Too fat to whistle. Your shoes are whistling.
Why do I come here?
Something. I was like, I'm close, so close.
But
Anyway,
we went on the Donkey Kong, and then after that we went on the Stardust Racers, which is the dueling dragons kind of one, where it's two roller coasters that they go at the same time. That was amazing. It's probably the best roller coaster that's outside
I like that.
in Orlando. It's better than Velocicoaster in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah,
how like extreme is it? Is it
very extreme.
Is it like
Yeah. This
Hulk?
one goes anal.
It goes
crazy.
No, because
through the second
it
loop,
does
you're
that
like,
whole like one's coming over the top as you're going, and one like the people's heads are right next to your head as you're
If
going.
you put your hands out, or is that a myth?
It's
If you put your
scary.
hands out, can you slap some old lady in the face?
If you're
No,
tall
no.
enough, maybe.
No, they have built
They
that
probably
in.
made-
If
measured
I
it
were George
correctly.
Marichon, the big ugly basketball player.
Hold on, can you be too tall for a
Yes,
ride?
you can be too tall for rides.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can also be too short for rides.
I've
I don't know
never,
if you know that.
I've never,
Most rides.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone turned away for being too tall. It's
I have.
probably an anomaly. That,
Yeah, if you're like 6'8", anything above
Yeah.
like 6'8", a lot of those guys can't get on the rides.
I was at Hollywood Studios with Caitlin Clark, and she was asked to leave a couple of the rides.
So, any other rides that you want to point out?
Did you buy anything? Do you buy any toys?
Got the bracelets for my kids. They're like $30 a piece.
What do the bracelets do?
They keep track of how many coins you collect through the Mario area.
Can you buy
and, like,
something?
And like if you punch one of the question mark things, it makes a special noise. And if you don't have a bracelet, it goes doom, 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 like you don't have the. Basically, you're a Poro. Don't hit this thing.
Oh, okay. And so, I would imagine those kind of things are always awesome in the beginning. Like, you got to go early.
Yeah, I'm waiting to how
Because-
bad it gets messed
Yeah,
up.
because everything just gets degraded. Next thing you know, you're walking through the Hulk coaster like I would. Like you look over the guy, he's got
And there's paint missing
He's
'cause they
washed,
scratched it off,
He's
yeah.
washed his outfit so many times it's not even purple anymore. It's like light blue and green. I'm like,
That was the
whoa.
things I was pointing out. I'm like, this is gonna get destroyed by the first month. Like that was the thing that was making me sad because I'm like, these are the cool things that are
Yeah.
gonna get messed
You
up by
can't do any of that. The only
bratty
thing you
kids,
can have.
spoiled kids.
The only thing that's approved for any theme park, namely Universal, is you got to have a rope that's hanging and you can hold on to it like it's the leash of Marmaduke.
Yeah,
and you
gotta
turn your
take the
camera
picture
to the
sideways.
side.
Yeah, I used to love that.
Yeah, you turn
and the
your-
bomb that's right in front of
That's
it.
all you get.
And the bomb doesn't explode anymore
And then
because
you
someone broke
might
it.
get Andy Capp or Betty Boop.
Yeah. I'm more of a surfboard man myself.
They took that out.
I know they did.
Oh,
Yeah, I was very
near the
disappointed.
Cinnabon, yeah.
Yeah, they took that out.
But the last thing but the Dark Universe was also amazing. Like they have two rides there. There's a Frankenstein's daughter ride.
You get the rider.
No, and she's basically it's one of those. It's really weird to describe. It's kind of like, I'm trying to think. It's kind of like Galaxy's Edge, the ride that you rode, but you're on like a big arm, and this thing moves around like this on top. It's kind of like the Harry Potter ride at Universal.
What are you
Islands
attempting
Adventure.
to do?
You're basically going past all the Universal monsters, like the creature
But
from
why
the Black
are you
Lagoon.
there? Why are you?
She's trying to control Dracula, and she's using Frankenstein's monster. She's using all these and like the vampires, werewolves,
And is it a ride where you're looking at screens and
screens
moving?
and practical effect things. Yeah,
Okay.
it was really once again the queue was amazing.
And it's all new. That's what's
It's all new.
I think, and the technology's
I've
new,
yeah.
and the way the rides move is new.
I've
and
never in my lifetime gone to a brand new theme park.
I have many times, and it's the best way to go.
Yeah, Islands of
When I
Adventure when it
opened
first
Islands
opened was
of Adventure,
amazing.
I
Yeah.
opened Islands of Adventure with Drew
Okay.
Garabo. I rode Hulk Coaster before it was open. I rode Doctor Doom before it was open. It's just way
in
better.
the 90s, yeah, because it's all
Yeah.
state of the art. All the rides
It's
are new.
like when I say there's
Spider-Man
nothing
when
like
it opened.
owning a brand new car. There's just nothing like it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. First
And there's
class
one
airline
more-
tickets are better.
Well, there's one more ride called the Werewolves. What is it called? It's called. Let me make sure
You
I
should
get it
write
right.
these things down.
And
You have
Curse
a
of the
segment.
Werewolf, and it's a mix of like Guardians of the Galaxy at Epcot and like the Hippogriff at Islands of Adventure. It's a spinning. You spin on a roller coaster. It's hard to describe. You're on a roller coaster, but it's also like a teacup ride almost.
Really? That's pretty
Yes.
cool. All right.
It was
I've
cool.
never seen that.
But it's on there. It's one of the better roller coasters there. I think the Stardust Racers is better, but this is like a good second.
Spinning while being on a roller coaster is a feeling I've never experienced.
Oh, you didn't go on Guardians yet? It's kind of like that.
No, I haven't.
Okay, Guardians of the Galaxy
Do
at
you,
Epcot
do you
is
even
kind of like
know who you're talking to?
I know.
Do you
He hates
remember
theme
where
parks.
you're at?
I'm acting excited.
Yeah, this guy's working his ass off for you, and you're just insulting him with dumb questions.
Well, I was hoping he would go. Like at least.
What do you mean
make
you haven't
the
gotten it? You've
challenge,
never gotten a
at least
novelty
try to go to
popcorn
Epic
bucket?
I'm
at
going
the
to
same
take
time.
my
You-
sons because they are really going to enjoy
They
this,
would
yeah.
love it,
Yeah.
without a doubt. But the Harry Potter area is amazing. Like it's first
Can
you
I
go
tell
into
you
Paris.
something that's going to make you both sad?
No, tell
My
me.
daughter had the ability to go on this, and she was asked by a friend of hers that I can't name, a young girl, a friend of hers, whose dad works
Yeah,
over
works
there.
To go to
yeah.
Epic
One of the
University.
preview days. Yeah.
And she did not want to do it because she said, quote, too long of a day.
Really?
It is a
Yeah.
long day.
I promise
Yeah.
you. If Andrea's in there, she'll back me up. Yeah, she got passes to do it. Everything.
I like that.
I knew you would. I did not like that. That
I'm
is
not-
the exact. I'm like, I want to go, but
yeah.
I can't walk right now.
Well, my son couldn't go on because he got a concussion riding on a scooter without a helmet. So.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a tough boy.
We
Yeah.
still took him there, but he couldn't ride it, which is
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
mean
you
at
know.
the same time, but kind of made me
You
happy.
got a brain bleed,
Well,
boy. You got to sit in the.
That's what it was, a brain bleed. We had to
Really?
spend the night in the hospital.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
yeah,
God.
yeah. It was not a good day.
That is not good.
Yeah, even though the morning before I told him, hey, if you're going to ride the scooter,
Put your helmet
wear a
on.
helmet.
Yeah.
Didn't listen.
He'll learn
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Now he knows. He learned.
I know EJ. He won't learn.
Well, I had the same concussion when I was about his age. Same thing happened.
I'm sure.
spent the
You
night
look
in the
ju-
hospital
I mean, you
and
guys are a
everything.
spitting image of each
I
other.
know.
Oh, I came up with it. Deacon Frosty.
I like that. You know what? That was worth the wait.
That was definitely worth the wait.
I support that.
All right. We will be. Oh, do you have anything to plug, Mike?
MyCon's April 19th, the same day as you guys' Appreciation Day. It's early in the morning. It's like from 10 to 6, but there's also karaoke to 9.
Okay.
What
all
the?
right.
I don't know. Nothing there said anything. You said nothing.
It's fine. There's no overlap.
We have shuttles going from our MyCon to your event.
Oh, wow.
All right.
You have to ride with me, though.
Better get on one of those shuttles.
All right. We will be right back. Yeah.
No one gives. No one.
Yeah.
Not one. They just walk the line the whole time, and I'm like,
No
just
one has
stop,
a
just give
dollar.
up. Don't even stand there. It's
But-
too dangerous. It's not even worth standing out there.
Oh, they don't care about danger. That's the one thing they don't care about.
Tough.
Well, it's just they are at the bottom. At
It
this
makes
point.
people.
Yeah,
It makes
like-
me very uncomfortable when you walk the line.
Yeah. I mean, if they get hit by a car, maybe parallel moves.
How
to
often do that? How often does that happen?
Probably not that often. They're also agile. So
they do seem to jump quick. Like, whoo-ha!
And if they get hit by the car, maybe there's some sort of financial windfall could happen. So it's not even that bad. Anyway, my whole point of this is it's never been a better value for $1
Yeah.
for the feeling you get when you give a homeless man $1, because you feel like you're like, I'm a good guy. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
And he was super
And
appreciative.
for 1 second, you are.
And so it's not even myself. It's like he was legitimately appreciative, and I could tell in his eyes. And he said, "Thank you, God bless you." And I felt like he meant it. And that
Oh
exchange,
yeah, I think they mean it.
that exchange of energy of that human being super appreciative of what I did,
Yeah.
was only $1. Good value.
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah.
Like it
Okay.
was like to pay $1, which can buy less than anything nowadays.
Better than a lap dance. I mean, a lap dance you normally get what
Dude, a lap dance is-
minute and a half, and it's like it was $25 in
yeah,
my
yeah,
day.
yeah. Like,
And you get like a minute. They don't give you the full song.
like
I think $1 to the old man. He takes it, says, God bless you.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a meaningful God bless you.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I'd agree with you.
And so I'm saying it's never been a better value to give a homeless person $1 than right now.
Okay.
And
I like that.
And
so you want everyone to start doing this?
I'm just saying, try it out.
Yeah.
Because when you give $1, you're like, this. I'm giving them something that's worth nothing to me.
Over the course
They
of
can't buy anything because inflation is so bad and like things are so expensive.
Yeah.
That this dollar
What
can't buy
happened to
anything.
coins? Weren't we getting rid of pennies and
Yeah. Well, I mean, we should have got rid of those.
Well,
a
we
long
were
time ago.
going to. That was in the news, like
Yeah.
I think like a month ago, and then it kind of like dried up.
Coins are nothing.
Yeah.
Although if you give a homeless man coins, they will thank you. But I can see it's not.
I don't think that God bless you is a real God bless you on that one.
Yeah. The dollar still has the perceived value to them is higher than its even buying power.
Also, the fact
like
that
drugs
you
have
even,
gone up. Like I know
Oh,
they just want
yes.
drugs, and so but they don't realize like that genuine thank you and God bless you is real at the time, even though they should realize that because of inflation and things are cost more. That when you give them $1, they should be like, that's it.
Well, they can't watch the news, right?
Well, I guess it just it's emotional at the time because they've been walking so long.
Let me add to that.
Anything is good.
No. When they see the paper, I feel like just like
Yeah.
it's
It
gambling.
elicits-
They're
yeah.
like, could be a 5, could be a 10 at the dollar.
But they're not disappointed. They're
No.
actually thanking you.
At least it's not coins.
It is the best value in society right now.
Do they like? I think we have.
And and say it's not in a car scenario, and say it's in like a city type scenario where they come up to you, ask you for money.
Oh, we had that in Seattle where that guy was eating the fish in front of us.
For $1, they'll get away from you,
Yeah.
which is a great value too.
Yeah.
Like if you told like, hey. You for the cost of only $1, a homeless man will stop bothering you. You're like, that's a great value.
Yeah.
Like, I'd pay more. I'd pay $10 for that. But it only costs $1. That is an exceptional value.
You've had more interactions with homeless people than probably anyone I know. Good,
Why?
bad, almost killed by them, giving them rides where they thought you were homeless as well. I mean, like, no, seriously, you've had a lot of homeless interactions.
Well, I'm just not worried. I'm not afraid of the
Yeah.
homeless.
Especially now, they're weak now.
Yeah. I
The
don't.
whole group, there was a time when they were very powerful. And what happened to them going digital? Remember, like 10 years ago, everybody's like, oh, they're going to get like Venmo and they're going to have like PayPal. Never panned out.
That it does.
Pun intended with that, never panned out.
It does exist. No one, society refuses to give homeless people
We don't
money.
like to do it digitally?
Yeah, but you don't get that exchange of energy. That exchange of energy
What if
is
we
the
bumped
value.
phones? What if we did like an Apple Pay and you got to vibrate?
No, because the fact
Haptic. What if I gave you a haptic vibrate?
the fact that they
That's
have
a haptic vibrate.
No.
I contend a haptic vibrate is a God bless you.
No.
It's the new God bless you. It's zzz, zzz.
the fact that
God bless you.
they have a phone eliminates your feeling of total like
Destitute. You want them
yes, yeah. Even though you probably here's the thing. Probably it's like, oh, this person, is an addict. He needs
they're
some
an
poison.
addict. Yeah, definitely an addict.
And he's going to use that money. He's not.
Well, he's not
he
using
may
it for
be
his
hungry.
family. Even if its sign
Yeah,
says that his family is stranded, there is no family.
Yeah. So it's like, and then but the value of you kind of believing it could be true and giving them $1 and making yourself feel like you're super philanthropic.
Yeah.
And
Did you
you're
only
like a
tell
nice
me about
person.
this, or did you tell Crystal to try and get a heroes?
No,
Yeah,
she gets mad at me. She's like, you're contributing to their addiction.
Oh, she doesn't she doesn't give to the homeless people?
She does, but this is a nothing because she's like, what $1 worth? Like give them $20.
What's better
And I'm
for
like, no, no,
society,
no, no.
tipping
I'm
the
not
homeless
doing it.
people while you're in traffic, or tipping out the medical marijuana dispensary people? What's better for society?
Oh, the homeless. Well, the value is in the homeless.
Yeah.
Tipping the medical marijuana people $1, it gives me no joy.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
get suckered
I'm
into
just-
doing it. But I get suckered into doing it. They're like, we got to round this up and give you the change. I know why you're doing that.
You're putting stickers on.
I know why you're doing that.
Wait, your job is not that hard, and then also your advice. Like, I guess there's some value, and if you but I never ask anybody for advice. I'm like, I know what I like. I know.
I know everything.
Yeah,
I'm Tom Van.
So like maybe if they gave me some long, detailed, like useful advice, I'll tip them. But I'm not going to tip them just for picking up my order and putting stickers on the jars.
Yeah, let me ask you.
Too easy of a job.
Let me ask you an AI question, since you're winging around the word value a lot. Even the chat room was talking about the value is in the homelessness. Okay, yeah. Then let's talk about the word value for a second. What is the value of a meme? And if the new model of ChatGPT, if it can just make a meme out of nothing, is that still a meme?
If it's an AI meme, this has been going on, like, I think for a while, right?
Well,
like,
no, but this is something I've never seen before. Like, okay, so for instance, if you wanted to make a meme about, let's say, giving $1 to a homeless guy, right? You could go to Google image search and you'd search Steve Carell, The Office. You'd pull up a funny picture of, like, let's say, Prison Mike or something, and then you'd write what you want in a meme maker, then you'd send it to your friend, right?
Yeah.
But what I mean is, like, now you can describe to ChatGPT what meme you want, and it'll create the picture of Steve Carell. It's not even a real picture of him.
Yeah.
Is that even that's a nothing then, right?
Well, that's the same thing with the songs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's like,
I think I'm done with it today. I think I'm done with it. After
Well-
seeing the meme, I'm like, I don't know.
Well,
Nothing has value anymore.
Yeah, well, once a computer can then puke out 100,000 a day, and then one of those 100,000 will become viral.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, just keep doing it. And then 10,000 different generators are doing it.
Yeah.
And then it's just fills the internet with you don't know what's real. Yeah, that's the dead internet theory.
It's there.
Yeah,
We're there.
Yeah, I mean, and then people just.
Because it even asked me. I was like just doing something. And then ChatGPT was like just organizing. Actually, I was organizing. You and I were organizing some changes we would make on the website. And at the end of it, it was like, do you want me to make a meme out of this? And I'm like, okay.
The same thing's going to happen with reels. It used to take some effort to make a reel, right?
There was like creativity and thought put into it.
You'd.
That's why I don't adhere to those things that take your show and pull the best pieces and then throw all the videos out on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah,
weird.
Well, what happens is that takes the jobs of the Melissas of the world.
And it's not as good. It's never as good.
It's not, but it's free.
Right.
So it's like, if you're a
Right.
business, you're like, okay, and especially if you don't have the money to pay a Melissa, a human, to do it, which most people don't, then they're going to just go that route. And then it just devalues everything because it's just a bunch of little clips. No one wants to see them anymore. Once there's a million of them, and you're just like, okay, you just keep scrolling. I don't know. But you're right. With the memes, I
just had never thought about that. It's very weird to think that we went from a place of like, you know, the infamous meme where it's like guy walking with girl and he's turning around and looking at other girl walking by him.
Yeah.
Like you can create that. Like it's
and
not
then you
even,
put a little funny thing
yeah,
on.
but it looks exactly like it. It's just a little bit different. I don't know why that's like fracturing something within my brain, but it is. There's something wrong with that.
Yeah, it's just taking what used to take some man hours to do and then making it zero. Well, same thing with the songs. It used to take a lot of effort to put together a song, and then the value of that, like, wow, someone recorded this with real instruments. They learned how to play an instrument. Like all these things. Like we're talking about 10,000 hours. Even if you started with just learning to play guitar, all the way to a guitar song with vocals and recording, like we used to have to go and pay in the 90s $1,000 an hour to record, to go in a recording studio with your band and then like record and have an engineer. You'd have to learn all the instruments, all that work.
It's time.
To 12 seconds.
Yeah. What we need is some AI healing. That's what I need, is to be able to heal my hip in 12 seconds. We have someone calling. Oh, not that one. Let's see if they're here. Hey, thanks for calling A Corporate Time. Who's this?
It's Rob, man. What's up, guys?
What's going on, man? What's on your mind?
Oh, man. Hey, real quick, this app is going to make me absolutely drive off a bridge. I'm sure you heard it a million times.
That was the goal. The goal was to make our app, the goal was to make our free app so bad that it drives our listeners crazy.
Rob, well, let's talk about this. Are you using it just for the BDM shows?
I'm using it for just about all of it. Right now, yes, I am on the BDM.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay, so that's because if you're just using it to listen to AMT or ACT, you can go to your local app player on Apple Podcasts,
Spotify,
or Google Podcasts or Spotify, and it works perfectly every time. The problem is,
But it's 95 cents a month. I want to listen to the BDM shows.
yes, and we can help you with that.
Email me. Yeah.
If you're a current member, we will give you the RSS feed. You could put it into a third-party app like Podcast Addict, and you can listen to them perfectly.
Yeah,
okay?
I can get you if you email me at dan@tomadan.com, I can get you up and running. Okay.
Hey, but listen, all jokes aside, I didn't even know you guys were going to answer. You guys are the best, man. You guys surprised me even answered. That's awesome. Appreciate y'all.
Well,
man.
we like answering. Well, we appreciate you listening,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
I'm
listen.
sorry. We're working on the app. Actually, working on it this morning.
The problem is, as everybody knows, that it's ever tried to make an app, any business. This is why WWE dropped it because they realized just let the app companies do it.
Let the big boys do it.
But to listen to the BDM shows because it's behind a paywall. The only way to do it was through our app, and we're trying. And Matthew has been helping us. But when you have an Android phone,
he didn't need this.
It's
long
always going to be a
explanation.
problem because it changes every time. So it'll never not be a problem with Android phones. Is that what you have?
Well, damn. No, I just was trying to get Tom to stutter, but he didn't stutter. So,
Okay, now.
Well,
now
what
they're
the
just-
hell do
now
you
they're-
want,
now
sir?
they're just
No,
messing
stay
with
on the
you.
line. What are you doing today? What do you do for a living?
I'm actually an operations manager for a landscape company.
All right.
Ah, so you're a landscaper. All right.
You don't have
Yeah,
to say operations manager.
Yeah, I'm the chief executive officer of wacky fun parties.
Just say.
100%. Yo, you guys are awesome, man. Keep it up, guys.
Hold on. Let me
I
talk to
like
you
it.
about.
No, I like it when they can't hear us and then they just tell us we're awesome and hang up on us.
Are you?
No, go ahead. I'm not hanging up.
Okay, don't
We
hang
talk
up.
all day.
Don't hang up.
Does the manager ride the lawnmower? Or
Yeah. Do you mow or do
No.
you sit in your truck in the air conditioning and write on the clipboard?
I'm actually writing on my clipboard in
Knew
the
it.
air conditioning and shade as we speak.
I knew it.
What are you
It's
writing? Hold on.
Yeah, he's right. I hate Mexicans. Don't write that. Don't write that. That would be a horrible thing to write because that's your whole business. Don't write that.
If
And I don't know what you're going to do in a couple of months because things are changing rapidly.
If I had a boss, I'd make my operations manager get out there and do something.
Yeah.
What are you writing? I need there's nothing to
I
write.
love pizza.
I have a bunch of clients. Get out there and mow their GD lawns.
Wow. You're mean, Tom.
Yeah, that's what I've been
Like,
saying.
hold on, I
That's
can't-
what flag that, Melissa. Flag that. Finally.
Hold on.
Finally,
No, I'm
it's
not
rising.
mean.
And yeah, you are mean.
No,
And
I'm
you
not.
Oh, you can't say that. He said you were mean.
No,
and
there's a-
this guy knows.
No, I know.
He's got a crew with a hot mops in the
No.
back of his car right now.
Yeah, no, I know blue collar managers. They're mean as hell
But
to their employees.
no, it's different now. Everybody's a
no,
snowflake now.
no, they're not.
Everybody's
No,
weak.
they're not. They're not. They're mean as
No,
hell.
no, you're
Yeah,
mean.
yeah.
You're a mean person.
If you work in a blue collar,
That's why your sons don't want to do
industry,
plants with you because you're mean.
and
No, they don't. They don't. They don't want to do plans.
This
I
guy's
don't
drunk.
think-
This is a real landscaper.
So, hold
You're
on.
hammered, aren't you? How many beers in are you?
what are you writing in the truck? There's no reason to write anything.
I mean, you have to create lists to keep the workers busy.
Liz,
I will-
take these branches, put them over there. Take these leaves,
Liz,
scrape them in a bag.
yeah, you know
Take
that-
these.
You go to the house and they do the same thing.
Yeah.
The same
You know,
house.
it's
you,
edge,
You mow and
yeah.
weed eat an edge
You do the
and blow.
edge, and then you got to do the shrubs, and
Damn.
then maybe you rake the mulch in.
Well, Tom, you sound very experienced. Can I send you an application?
He's drunk. He's drunk.
All right, thank you, sir,
All right,
for
thank you
being
for
a
calling.
BDM.
We appreciate you being a BDM. He's hammered.
right.
You didn't hear the slurring?
Yeah.
I can do that too. I can hold it together in a phone call to my wife for about 3 sentences, but at the end, I get too confident. I start
yeah.
letting my guard down. I start doing a little bit of that. You
I
know,
start yelling
I'll
at
call
her.
Andrea. She's like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "Me and Tom, we're coming back from the West End Trading Company, and I'm trying to. I gotta drive him home.
yeah.
I gotta drive him home first. So let me get him home first, and then I'll be on my. It's so hard to do it
Comes
too.
in and out.
Ah, it comes, yeah."
It's
Like the reception on an old TV.
Your brain.
But thank you for calling. That guy was good.
So is he just getting drunk
Hey,
in his truck?
let me tell you something. You're not mean. And I shouldn't have said that.
Well-
you have mean tendencies. You do have mean tendencies, but you're not mean. You don't have the
I'm
spine
just-
to be mean. I've never seen you actually be mean.
Yeah.
You'll play around. You'll hard play. You're
Well,
like a
just-
good hard play, like a dog. You're like a Doberman.
Like every landscape company I know, like yes, there
Yeah.
is a considered a manager or the higher up,
like a foreman.
Yeah, a foreman. But he's also doing work. He doesn't sit in his truck. He's like out there, but he's usually doing the easiest job, like riding the lawnmower, zero turn. And the other, like the holding a weed eater,
different
blower.
here in Baldwin. We have one guy that's like a tall guy,
But
and then
that's a bigger corporation.
and then he has a bunch of little minions. Like they're like smaller people in overalls, just like minions. And they all wear purple. You've seen them.
Yeah.
And they all dress in purple, and he's the main guy, and he'll point at stuff, and then they'll be like, and then they'll go do the thing, and they are.
That's more of a corporate landscaping. They're doing commercial, huge commercial. Like if you got the account for UCF. Like, some landscaper, like you get higher up and you own a big company, you do like UCF, Baldwin Park, and like 15 other commercial.
You get some Rabotage under your belt.
And then you're making millions a year in revenue.
I used to know a guy. Remember, we knew a guy that did that.
Yeah.
How he made his money.
Yeah, I mean, you're rich, stupid rich.
Yeah.
The problem is finding the employees and keeping them. I don't know, like. It's
a lot
funny.
of turnover in that.
I was at a birthday party and I talked to a guy that
You go to a lot of birthday parties.
he was a Wizards kid. He has too many kids, so he's a birthday party
every week. He's at a birthday party.
And I'm talking to one of his neighbors, and he during COVID, like he was in construction or something like that, and real estate, and then and not in COVID, sorry, but the damn housing recession. In like 2009, he had to change. He had to get a new job, so he started a landscaping company. And he's like, it was like he's like I liked plants and landscaping, and he's like the hardest part is getting the crews to show up, and big people wouldn't show up. People would have all these problems, and then you constantly had to call people off. Like
it's not like Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, it was just the managing the people were the hardest. He's like. Keeping up the accounts are easy. It's like easy money because
and doing
you
the work
set and forget.
Isn't that hard. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, and then sometimes you get like actually design jobs and stuff, and then you put some plants and stuff. I'm like, I do that.
That was the thing when I was growing up at DeLand High.
The people.
There were a couple like dream jobs, and one of the ones that was winged around a lot, just in my generation. So I'll throw it out there for those of you that might be my age. 48, class of 94. One of the dream jobs that I'd say more than 3 men said in my class was golf course designer. Because you live in Florida and sports and the weather and golf, and these are kids I knew that were like relatively rich. These are the kids that like would surf, they played volleyball, and they played golf.
Yeah.
They're like rich surfer golf kids. And like I knew a bunch of kids in DeLand that, like one in particular, I won't say his name because I think he listens, but he was like, he wanted to do, and I think he did go to school. Like he was one of those guys that
landscape design. Yeah,
he went to school for landscape design, but then he got into like I think his specialty now is irrigation. Like he is his entire job isn't like he would laugh at like your Rainbird system or something. Like he does the big ones for not just golf courses,
commercial properties.
Yeah, for big for like a field, like I don't know, some massive field in England that they want to for a castle.
Or any giant commercial property that needs irrigation. I mean, even go back to UCF. UCF has tons of landscaping around their entire campus. It all needs to be irrigated. There's a company that they hired to do that, and it's so massive that one contract is like $100,000 a year. It's a huge thing. So, but the problem is there's not that many UCFs, and so it's like probably a hard job to get into. How many like big commercial properties need landscape design, and there's already businesses out there. What are you going to do to make it any different?
And it's expensive. Like when you get stuff done, I remember when I got the landscaping done via trade for my little house.
Oh yeah, dude.
And it was such a tiny house. Like I mean, like you remember it was a 990 square footage. So the front yard not very big. Think standard like little plot of grass with like a little area up near the house, like the
you put some ivy on that. I saw the landscape.
And then in the
put
back,
some bushes.
Not very big. And then I think the quote for the trade on that was $15,000.
Yeah. No, it's expensive as hell.
And that was in what? 08, 09?
Yeah.
Maybe.
And now that I do I like doing the landscaping myself. Like it's easy to do.
Yeah.
But the problem is for the person that knows nothing about it. Like I say it's easy, but I've been into plants and like doing this since COVID.
Yeah, for a long time now.
So now 5 years I've put probably hundreds and hundreds of hours of research and actually messing around with it.
Well, you
know what I'm
failed
saying?
a couple times too. I remember you telling me like I went to put in this irrigation thing, I messed it up, so I got to do this.
So that's what you're paying for. It's funny. It took me until I'm 43 years old to finally grasp why things are so expensive and like why.
Oh, time in.
Yeah, because you're paying for the person's knowledge that they've practiced this craft or been into this, whatever you're hiring them for so long that you're paying for experience. You know what I'm saying? The same thing, like, I saw a...
That's interesting. I got that lesson really early on as a kid with music lessons. I remember my lessons for drums were a lot more expensive with one particular educator, right? This guy, Carl Rendeck at Stetson University. He's still in Orlando or was playing with the Orlando Philharmonic. But that guy, like, I remember his lessons were more expensive, but he was the better dude. Like, he had you looked at his biography, you looked at his...
more experience.
Yeah, and you're like, that's the guy. And I remember my mom explaining to me, like, because we had this guy and then you had this guy. And I'm like, well, what's the difference? And, there is a difference in how long have they played? Who'd they play with? How long have they been doing plants? What's their knowledge base, Yeah.
And the problem is for me, though, all that goes out the window when I pay for the experience, and then when I see the person doing whatever, and then I'm like, well, I could do that. And it was like, that's what I pay for.
I don't have that part.
I like to look at something and then be like, I can't do that. Like, this is like way harder than I thought. But then if it's something I can do, and then it bothers me. But anyway.
I feel you.
A
lot of bands are touring right now. I wanted to ask you about this. How do you feel about bands that tour without the original lead singer, but everybody else is up there? You got two of them right now.
Do they sound like the singer?
I'm going to guess that they kind of do. The big ones that are going on right now, it's weird that you have two of them. You've got Kevin Cronin, who is the lead singer for REO Speedwagon. So, they basically reformed without him, and he is really hurt. He's, like, going on every TV show, rock and roll blog you can think of, and screaming it from the mountaintops of how upset he is he's not touring with REO Speedwagon. And the other one, which is kind of interesting, is the Sex Pistols are touring right now with another punk rock singer, Frank Turner, who we've played on the show multiple times. We've worked with his record label. Seems like a nice enough dude. So you've got Frank Turner singing with the Sex Pistols. Well, Johnny Rotten, or John Lydon, he's still alive. And, he's like, why would you even go see this? It's just like karaoke. Where you're seeing a younger dude, and he's a younger, cool guy, and he's playing with the other Sex Pistols, but I kind of agree with him. Like, why would you go see the Sex Pistols with Frank Turner over seeing the original Sex Pistols if everybody's still alive?
Well, the original Sex Pistols don't like Fred Turner. That's why.
No, they do they're with him. They're with Frank Turner. They don't like John. They don't like Johnny Rotten. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
No, I understand that, but that I think, why do people have such a hard time with things ending? Like it's not the real thing. It's not. The new Pantera that's out and touring. You really only get, Rex. You get the bass player and you get Phil, the singer. Everybody else that really and truly made the music of that band truly unique is gone. Why not just let it go away? What's wrong with that? Why do we have to keep it going, and then why run the risk of tarnishing the image of something that was already great?
Because people will continue to buy tickets for it.
All driven by money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the reason these people are doing it. Yeah. It's the reality. And these bands, they don't care that they're diminishing. Like, to them...
Do any of them see it? And did Seinfeld, when he said he didn't want to do that, so he ended on a very high note. Do you think he was really doing that? Has anybody else really done that? Doesn't seem like people like doing that. Like, Andre 3000, perfect example of somebody who could do it. You get to the top of the mountain, and you're doing your best, and you're like, well, I think if I continue, I might harm this. So I'm just going to enjoy it.
Yeah, well, I guess it depends on how much money you made. A lot of these bands didn't make, especially the band members, didn't
I'm
make
sure
that
the
much
older
money.
Sex Pistols are hurting right now.
You know,
I'm sure they need cash.
So then they're like, who care? We just want to go sell tickets. And if the people come and have a good time, then who's the loser here? Except for the original singer that didn't,
Right.
but that's whatever their business and why they
And
don't.
that's their
do-
relationship, sure, yeah.
So it's like, it really isn't harming anybody because you're like, hey, I guess it depends. I guess if you bill yourself as the Sex Pistols and don't mention that the original singer,
I don't think they're allowed to do that.
they have.
I think
to,
it has to be the Sex Pistols with Frank Turner. I
Okay,
believe.
yeah. So then, as long as they,
No, I don't
they
think
have
they're
to do-
defrauding
Yeah,
anybody.
yeah.
No,
Then
no,
it's
no.
like, all right, I'll give you a good example.
Yeah, give
with
me
some.
one.
So Sublime with Rome, I wasn't necessarily interested in putting in the effort to go see them, right?
Sure.
Because I did enjoy when we saw Badfish.
Oh,
that
they were
time.
great. Well, but Bradley
they-
was just, had not just, but Bradley had passed away, and how were we going to see anything close to Sublime?
But Sublime with Rome was around when Badfish was playing when I saw him with you. And but it was cheap ticket, whatever. I was like, I'm not.
Yeah, I don't think
motivated.
Sublime and Rome were together at that point.
Okay.
Not quite yet, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
But now that it's Bradley's son, I am motivated because
Oh, I'm
just
glad
that
you brought this up.
just that difference in the fact that is actually connection, and I'm like, man, I remember the album cover with Bradley playing acoustic guitar to his baby.
Yeah.
And that's burned into my childhood memory.
Correct.
And then I'm like, now that his son's actually, and then going back to value, now I'm like, I would go, I wish I traveled to Colorado to see him at Red Rocks.
Oh yeah, I think they did play
because
there.
that would be a cool
They have
show.
a new album coming out. I'm glad you mentioned it.
But for sure, if they came to House of Blues or whatever, I'd go see them because that would be cool to me to see Bradley and the original Sublime members playing.
For some
together
reason, it
around.
gives me chill bumps. And, I'm a Sublime fan. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan, but yeah, I would go to see that too. It is interesting too because out of all the dad things, even though the Bradley Noel story is very sad in one aspect of it, out of all the dads that get to do things with their sons, he does not, but I think the story is the coolest. Jacob Noel playing with Sublime, his dad's band, and then doing a new album, which they are currently in the studio as of right now, to me is cooler than LeBron playing with Bronny or Tiger Woods playing with his son in the, whatever, that cup or all of that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those things. This one is, I don't know, seems very...
And I'll tell you,
a lot more intimate and a lot more meaningful.
remember when Queen went out with that guy,
Adam
from
Lambert.
or whatever, like that? Even though I like Queen, like that, I wasn't interested.
No.
I was like, I wouldn't spend a bunch of calories and money to go see that.
Yeah.
I'm just not as interested.
And he's a great singer, too.
yeah.
That's the thing. It's just I understand.
So and then with other bands, sometimes the lead singer is not as important to the overall experience of seeing the band.
Yeah.
So, but if it is, and the lead singer was the focal point, then I feel like, are you really that motivated to go see?
It's happening right now to Linkin Park. They reformed with a new lead singer. They got that the girl singer now singing with them. I'm blanking on her name. But as of this morning, I read, I wasn't even going to talk about this, but I read a headline where they are doing a massive show at Dodger Stadium, and it's too advantageous for them. They're having to pull back tickets. That's too big of a venue. A lot of bands are having that problem. Black Keys had that problem where they went to do a world tour, and then they had to roll their whole world tour back because no seats are selling. Casey Musgrave had that problem in
sales.
Canada. Yeah, people are not buying these big because it's too, I almost cursed, it is too expensive. It is way too expensive to see some of your favorite artists. It's wild. It's completely out of control. And Kid Rock and Trump are going to do something about it. They met in the White House yesterday about ticket scalping. That's the only reason I mentioned that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, I see the pendulum. It swung hard right after COVID, and everybody's like, let's go
Yeah.
out and see live shows, live events. Obviously, everything, the values in the live for bands and stuff. And now it's just oversaturated. There are a lot of stand-up shows, a lot of venues, way more than there used to be.
Yeah.
You know, there's a ton more venues.
Stuff to do, yeah.
Than there was even 10 years ago.
Oh my God,
by
are
a
you
lot.
crazy? I can name just ones we work with.
So, and we're seeing them all a lot more because it's never been easy to advertise. Like I see a lot of stand-up shows come through Dr. Phillips, and they'll show up on my algorithm on my Facebook, and like they'll promote them to me because
Right.
I fit the demographic, or because I clicked on some YouTube video one time of one of these things. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
and so there's like I have a choice of 5 different awesome shows every weekend to go
Yeah.
to. And
Probably more.
that's going to hurt all shows.
Yeah.
And same thing with podcasts, and same thing with all choices. You know, if you had awesome, 10 awesome barbecue restaurants within your area,
Well, it's
and
also,
it keeps growing, it's just they're all going to business is going to suffer.
there is a benefit though where you can go and see, guys that I like that it would be considered like top tier songwriter, musician, but maybe like a mid-tier following, like John Moreland, who was just at Tuffy's.
Yeah.
And I was able to buy a table for that, because you get to see that. But yeah, it's a weird time right now to go and see stuff because like you want to go see like Lady Gaga or dare I say Taylor Swift. I mean you probably got to fly out of the country to save some money on the tickets.
But there's so many different options that, of course, is going to hurt sales of all,
A few more bands that people in the chat room are saying, kind of kicking around about the lead singer. Ricky says Alice in Chains did a very good job of replacing Lane Staley, at least on the first album with him. Yeah, they got that Robert Duvall, which same name as the actor, I think, is the new lead singer of Alice in Chains, and it was a black guy, and he's really good. He's an excellent rock and roll singer. I'd never heard of that guy before, but I was skeptical because I'm like, well, who the hell is this guy? But he's really good.
But I think everybody's realizing
William Duvall, sorry, not Robert Duvall.
Not to go back to value again, but
I'm glad the chat room is able to correct me.
All these bands, they realize, even though they're retired or whatever, all sitting around, and they're like, wait a minute, the Alice in Chains brand still has value, like just from how big it was at one time.
Sure.
And it touched so many people that if we, I'm sure they test it out too. They got people like, hey, let's do one of these shows and see what it sells.
Jerry Cantrell is a guitarist and songwriter, is phenomenal. So
Yeah.
I mean,
And
he's
they-
got a following himself.
And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, okay, we can each make $30,000 a show here. And then let's just put together a small tour and do it. And like, I'll make an extra. Like, what are you doing?
And it is fun.
We're all retired.
Yeah, we're
like,
musicians and we like doing it. Yeah.
And so then they're like, why aren't we doing it? If this,
Especially if there's no bad blood, you're healthy.
yeah.
You can pick and choose what you want to do.
But even if there's bad blood in one member, just like we're talking about, the lead singer or whoever, the most famous or the most important part of the band at one point is now, ostracized and not a part of the band.
Sure.
But we could still legally somehow, like maybe they all own a portion of it or whatever. The lead singer, they could tour. There's like, they get a new singer and they're like, oh, we still sold enough tickets to make, 15,000 a show or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
let's go do it.
Still a
Why
lot
not?
of money. Yeah.
And like you said, it could be fun. You're not doing anything else.
Yeah.
And
I do think a lot of
extract it.
those guys, after they've hit it big, like, I mean, there's no way that Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains wants for anything
Yeah.
because he did it, right? But if he wants to go back out and showcase his music, which I can kind of look at him and tell he's that type of guy, like he's an artist.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he wants to do that. You're right. Like, I think a lot of these guys are fueled with the like, well, why now? What else am I going to do?
What's interesting to me is when a band decides to stop doing it, even though they could still do it.
Oh, there's a big one right now. Massive one right now that I do not understand. And it has to do, I believe, with mental illness and bulimia and
Okay. Well, that's kind of out of their hands. It's like they're doing it because of
Silverchair.
yeah.
Remember the band Silverchair?
Yeah, I just saw a clip on TikTok of them playing above MTV studios down in in New York. Like,
What,
remember
like
they
at
played on the
TRL?
roof. They played on the roof of TRL.
Yeah.
out like to Times Square
Oh,
or
that was
whatever.
massive, dude.
And I just saw.
We
the
don't
clip
get
of
things
that.
like that anymore.
Yeah, no one cares.
Yeah, you might get it digitally, but you're not going to
Yeah.
get something like that. But yeah, I believe his name is Daniel Johns. He they were going to get back together, I guess, is it the 30-year anniversary of the album Frog Stomp, which has, you know, what's the name of that song?
All the hits.
Yeah, anyway. But they didn't, but I guess he's just not into it. And it sucks. Andrea, my wife, loves Silverchair. I like Silver. They're a good band. You know, they're a really, really fun, heavy, grunge, you know, young teen.
Oh, they could sell tickets
band.
if they.
Oh my God! We saw them when they opened for Jimmy Eat World. I want to say like maybe 10 years ago at House of Blues. They were phenomenal. Really good band.
So they're an example of why not get another singer they can mimic that style of voice and then go on tour.
Harder with a 3-piece, I think. Because he was the singer's more concentrated.
True, but they could do it.
Tomorrow was the name of the song. Thank you, chat room.
They could hold auditions and then find someone close enough. And
I'd go see him probably.
There's a musician out there that would do it. But then would the singer sign off on it? Who knows about what the deal is? Sometimes,
I don't know.
Sometimes the lead singer puts together the band and therefore has the majority power, and he's not going to sign off on it. But why not if the band agreed to some sort of payment? Like, hey, we'll buy this from you.
Although
you know,
I would say it's really crappy. Like if you and I, you know, let's say this ends poorly, which it will.
Yeah.
It's
inevitable.
Yeah, it is inevitable. Tension's rising all the time. You know, people don't see the behind the scenes is how tumultuous and horrible it is. But it would be really crappy if either one of us, like, you know, I want to get another little person.
I wrote that down.
And he's going to do the same thing you do. I've lined up an audition. Super Dave from MMO might slide into your role. We wouldn't even have to do anything at that point because you guys have the same body type and continue doing it. I would say that's fine.
Or you just agree?
I would agree.
I'd have to pay you something
No.
for the brand.
That's not fair. I got paid enough doing it.
Okay, so you're not doing
this is a 50-50 partnership.
Yeah, but
we
ended
it. You don't need to buy me out. You just take it and it's yours.
Well,
now.
to use the Tom and Dan brand, are you just gonna give it to me?
Yeah,
all right,
give it
I'll
to you.
write that down under little person.
Yeah. I'll give it to you.
All right,
little people
person,
are very benevolent.
Daniel will give it to me. See, so if the opposite was true, and let's say I decided to quit, move to Colorado, become a rock climbing tour guide.
Yeah, rock climbing tour
with
guide.
my sons, and then run a small rock climbing
Van and Sons.
Rock
climbing, where Daddy does all the climbing.
I don't know why you trust this guy with your life. Anyway, so and then I'm like, I'm leaving, or you're like, okay, and then you're like, well, I still want to continue to do this and use the Tom and Dan brand.
$1 million. Yeah,
no.
You'd screw me.
I wouldn't screw you. I would say, okay, well, then get another person and go, and then just pay me some royalty. And then you can.
I'll give you like $500.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
I'll give you like $500.
But I would let you do it, and because for me. Why would I? If people are still want to hear it, why would I stop that?
It's sour grapes.
It's emotional, right?
It is emotional. And look, I'm an emotional person, but there are certain things that I'm just like, well, I don't care. That's whatever.
And it's your music. Like if people want to still show up and listen to your music, and say you're out of the band or whatever, and then they're willing to pay you for the rights to use it or whatever, you should be happy that people are still coming to listen to the music.
You're
right?
still a part of that. Like it or not, you're still a part of it.
Like if you created the songs, they're playing to a live audience, they're having fun. Like you are creating some joy.
Deep down in your psyche, if I drilled you down, like if I were able to put you under duress somehow and drill you down, you'd be like, I do like it. They would. They'd admit they like it.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you? You were just mad because you're not there.
Blinded by anger. People love getting angry, man.
All right.
People love getting mad.
We'll see you tomorrow.